Hey everybody, I have another unboxing. This is the Meizu 15. So yeah, apologies for this weird viewing angle. My tripod actually, the original one that I used broke when I was in Korea. So now I'm using this other one that can't be put on the table, hence why I have to shoot from this kind of angle that's a little bit too up close. Oh nice, this is a sleek black phone. It's interesting that every phone maker has gone with the vertical dual camera this year. Like you have LG, you have Meizu, you have Huawei, Xiaomi, Vivo, everybody, Oppo. So this is the 15th anniversary of Meizu. Meizu, it's I believe like a top 6 or 7 phone brand in China. They're based in Zhuhai, so Zhuhai is like a quite interesting place. It's a little bit different from Shenzhen, which is the place where all the other phone companies are usually based. So you see right here it says Meizu Design. So this it's obviously a nicer packaging than previous, like the last couple of Meizu devices I unboxed. So here you have a quick start guide. That's pretty nice. This is in color. There's like little illustrations, papers, warranties, I believe. Yep. So then right here you have it's quite nice. I like that the cable is folded flat like this. A USB-C cable. Okay, so we put this back. So you see the SIM ejector tool, it's part of the box, so that's pretty nice. See, when Meizu wants to do a nice packaging, they do a good job. Like remember the Pro 7 last year? That was a really nice packaging. But then otherwise, the budget devices comes with, in like a really plain white box, which is fine, you know, it's a budget phone. So this is a China plug. So that's it, no case for this phone, which is rare for a Chinese device. So let's get to my favorite part. From the back, this almost looks like the Porsche design Huawei Mate phone. It just looks very kind of like it's like a gunmetal black, like a matte black, jet black. That's very deep and I like it a lot. So the bezels on this is slimmer than usual, than previous Meizu phones, but still like not super slim. It's still quite noticeable compared to other devices out there. But the side bezels have been eliminated. So anyway, this is Flyme. Well, I'm not sure it's pronounced Flyme or Flim, but I really like this is Meizu software. It's really fun and there's a lot of customization. So I will play with this phone and I'll be back with it hands-on. Hey everybody, I'm back. I played with the Meizu 15 all day. So this picture looks pretty damn cool here, right? This is my Instagram account. I actually took this with this phone. So this is one of my favorite features of the phone so far, is that the camera is really good considering this is a relatively mid-tier device. So this unit I'm reviewing here, it's the Meizu 15. There's also a 15 Plus. So the biggest difference is physical size. On the normal 15, you have a 5.5-inch 1080p AMOLED display with a 16:9 aspect ratio. So it's not the longer, taller 18:9, but 16:9. On the 15 Plus, you have a 5.9-inch display with a Quad HD, aka 2K resolution. So it's a little bit larger display with more pixels too. So under the hood, on the 15, you have a Snapdragon 660. So you see the Geekbench score here, pretty respectable, 5825 multi-core. So this is a chipset that's a mid-tier chipset, but it's definitely more than powerful enough to do most basic things. while on the 15 Plus you have a Samsung Exynos 8895 processor. So that's the same chipset as on the Samsung Galaxy S8. So you're looking at this display or this build quality. As I mentioned during the unboxing, the bezels at the top and bottom aren't necessarily slim, but the side bezels are really slim. They might be the smallest on the market, and it actually looks really good. And not to mention, it makes the phone really easy to hold. Despite the 16:9 aspect ratio, 5.5 inch, this phone is thinner than, say, previous 5.5 inch 16:9 aspect ratio phones. So you look at, if you open a web page with bright color, you see how slim the bezels are. It actually stretches almost side to side. And because this, the edge of the display aren't curved, I haven't experienced any accidental palm touches issues. So everything so far is pretty good. So this being an AMOLED panel, that means colors are very punchy. The blacks are really deep, and just you get really good contrast. So this is a really good display. I mean, check out. I mean, this guy is just an awesome photographer, but everything looks great here. And I love that the video fills up the entire screen. So there's no letterboxing, because this aspect ratio is a more traditional 16:9. So overall, this phone feels and looks really good. I really like the metal back. It feels pretty sturdy. There's a little bit of a camera bump, but not too bad. And I really like the little pattern right here that's along the antenna line. This has a very oriental design to it. It kind of, I feel like Meizu probably, I'm just guessing, I haven't spoken to anyone inside Meizu, but I'm guessing this design is symbolic of Meizu's Chinese roots, because they're a company based in Zhuhai. So this is a really nice looking phone. Everything feels really sturdy. So unfortunately, the Android software here is just 7.1.1, not 8.0. But Meizu has its own software over it anyway, so it's not like you can see an immediate difference. So this is Meizu software. It's called Flyme or Flim. I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's no app tray. So that's one of the few things I don't like. But everything else about it is awesome. I like that you can bring down a notification shade by swiping down from anywhere. And there's actually a lot of gestures. So right here, you see that you can double tap the screen to wake it up, or slide up and down, and you can draw. This is one of my favorite features of Meizu devices. You can draw a letter to launch apps. So we'll test it out with it. We'll turn on the M. You have to turn it on. So let's do M to launch Google Maps. So then now you lock the phone, you draw M, and then it launches Google Maps. So there was a little bit of a delay because the phone was locked. If you didn't have a lock screen, it would just jump into it automatically. So you might have noticed right there that there's this little icon. That's because this phone has face unlock, and it works relatively fast. So I'm gonna show you really quick. It's registered to my face. So right now it's locked. I'm gonna tilt it to my face, and it unlocks in about a second. There's also a fingerprint reader down here, of course, that works very well, very fast. So let's talk about this fingerprint reader too. This is a circular button. It's a new design to Meizu. Meizu used to have the oval shaped button, but this is basically, Meizu called this M back. It's its own navigation system, and I really like it. I think it's very intuitive. Although, actually, let me rephrase. I really liked it. I thought it was really intuitive for 2016 and 2017. But now in 2018, I still prefer a phone with all screen up front with no buttons. But if I must have a button, I like Meizu's implementation. So I'll show you how it works. So we'll go into an image. So awesome photo, right? I took this with this phone. So anyway, you tap the button to go back, or you press onto it to go home. And this button actually doesn't click, so it's kind of like the iPhone 7 style haptic engine. This isn't a physical button, but instead there's a haptic engine that can sense presses. So again, tap to go back, or you press to go home. You swipe up from the bottom to bring up recent apps. So it's very intuitive, very useful, and really makes the three traditional Android buttons, you know, the triangle, circle, square, a little bit redundant. You don't need three buttons on the bottom anymore. Except the three buttons, one of the best things about it is you can double tap on the square button to jump between apps, and I don't think you can do that with this setup. But if you go into settings, you are able to bring up the navigation buttons if you want. So you are able to just have the traditional Android buttons at the bottom. So let's talk about the camera now. You have a 12 megapixel sensor, that's a main lens, and then below it, it's a 20 megapixel telephoto lens. So this is why this phone is able to do 3x zoom at really good quality. So this is a 3x zoom photo here. So you see how far I was initially? It was like this, and then I hit 3x zoom. Boom. Very good details. Probably just as good as the Huawei Mate 10, Huawei P20 Pro's 3x zoom. Overall, the camera, it's a joy to use. The camera app is very simple. So you see right here, you do have the button to go 2x zoom or 3x zoom. And then selfie button to swap to the selfie camera, you just tap this button here. Very easy. You swipe to the left to go portrait. Portrait mode looks pretty good too, as you can see from the samples here. And then you have video right here and more, which is manual controls, panorama, and slow motion. So manual control is pretty easy to use too. I like that you are actually able to see the difference as you're changing the white balance and all of that. Some phones like Xiaomi devices don't show you, so you just have to guess kind of the scene. Right here you can actually adjust footage right there on the fly. So in video you can see that you can shoot resolution at 480p all the way up to 4K. I stuck with 1080p because that's like the most ideal happy medium. And video quality is really good, except there is no stabilization, so everything is a little bit jerky. Let me find a video of me walking. So you see, it's a little bit jerky, but the colors are awesome. Details is very good. But yeah, this is so I don't think this is a phone you can use to walk and shoot at the same time. But when you're on something more stable, like I was on a boat earlier, video footage is impressive. So check out the zoom. I'm on 3x zooming out, and this is really good. Very accurate colors. Details are crisp. I mean, it's a beautiful day out in Hong Kong. Hong Kong does not usually look like this. So here's a selfie camera in action, in case you're wondering, you're walking. So again, pretty jerky, but pretty good details. Photo samples is, I love it. I think for this phone, for this price range, this unit is priced at 2,499 RMB, aka Chinese yuan. So that's about like 300 US. I think 300 US, this is a really good camera. So this is a bokeh shot inside a train. I really like that the blur wrapped around this handle very nicely, and then you see that just the depth of field looks pretty natural to me. So we'll look at some more photo samples right here. Like this shot, just excellent colors and details. So again, this is a 1x zoom image, 2x zoom, 3x zoom. So check out, even when you're zooming 3 times, the details is excellent. So macro photos are pretty decent too. So I shot this up close to a flower, and look, you can even see the bug next to it, although it kind of blurs a little bit, but the flower itself turned out pretty nice. And then right here, dynamic range it's not the greatest. Like the same image shot on a Samsung Galaxy S9 or a Huawei P20 Pro would turn out a little bit better in terms of dynamic range, but not bad for a $300 phone. So let's check out the video samples. This is a beautiful display. I believe this panel is sourced from Samsung, so it's a Samsung OLED panel, so best in class. I mean, check out the colors. Alright, so you know what we gotta do the sound test for K-pop videos, so man, check out the screen, it's beautiful. Now we'll go up the volume to 40%. So this phone has stereo speakers, so that's very impressive. So that means, see, you can't muffle even when you're pressing against the grill, because you have sound coming out from here and right here. Although overall volume is a little bit low, let's go up to 100%. Yeah, 100%, it's good, but there's not much bass. But you're getting stereo speaker from a $300 phone, so no complaints whatsoever. Okay, so overall, I'm a big fan of the Meizu 15. I like that this is a phone that doesn't give a crap about the modern smartphone trends. Because you know how right now, a lot of these smaller Chinese brands, they are very desperate to kind of chase trends. So that's why they're coming out with the notch, and they're coming out with these like just kind of design that looks just like an iPhone. I like that Meizu's always had its own design language, and it always does its own thing. Like right now, every phone wants to have slim bezels and a notch. Meizu's like, we don't care. So they have bezels that are relatively large top and bottom, but the side bezels are slim and the phone feels really good. Even though this is a 16:9 aspect ratio. So that's another thing. Every phone wants to have 18:9 aspect ratio now. Meizu's like, no. 16:9 is fine. So here we have 16:9 aspect ratio, and just the back of the phone, it's not glass, it's actually metal. It's a gunmetal. It's called gunmetal black, I believe. I quite like it, although you still get a little bit of fingerprints. But overall, this is a... Man, can you believe LeBron today? He killed Toronto again, man. But overall, this is a really good phone for $300 US. Thanks for watching.